Sometimes the most creative and brilliant people are also the hardest to have in your life. They bring success and fame and money and fun into your life. And of course, it's wonderful to have those things for a little while. But creative supernovas don't always respect boundaries. And as a result, their fieriness can be the very thing that burns down everything good in your life. So what do? My letter today is from a woman I'll call Val, who's been offered a complicated opportunity of a lifetime. And she writes, "Dear Anna, I'm a woman, 37 years old, and I have a serious relationship with a man I'll call A, who's 37 years old too, and we live together. We have been together for 7 years. All right, I've got my fairy pencil. I'm going to circle things I want to come back to on a second reading, but you have to hear this letter. Okay, it is a dilemma. When A was a teenager, he had a long-term relationship with a girl who later turned out to be gay. After 9 years, so teenage to 20s, okay, the relationship ended with her falling in love with someone else and cheating, and she was manipulated and seduced by an 18-year-old girl that I will call B. At some point, they all lived together and had a toxic triangle of love. Okay. A just wouldn't leave the situation until he did. It was extremely painful for all the participants and lasted a year. B has been living abroad since then. A, Val's boyfriend, and B, this woman who made trouble for his past relationship, remained close friends. How or why, I'm not sure. Maybe in a trauma bond. I entered into the picture 4 years later and gradually also became friends with B. She's only 30. Okay. I've always liked her and got along with her well. I'm an artist, but I haven't been successful career-wise. I'm working hard on myself and have not given up. I had an all right childhood, although we were very, very poor. I'm an extremely sensitive person, and I have some of the symptoms you describe on your channel. I've dealt with limerence most of my life before my current partner. Now, B is also an artist, and she has meanwhile become successful internationally. She's worked with A on many projects. A has also given her a lot of artistic advice and has been influencing her. And about 2 years ago, she invited me to work with her. The project was a hit, which enabled me to start freelancing full-time for the first time. She's now inviting me to work with her on the next international long-term project that would involve me more. I've already told her yes. She is applying for and getting huge funding. To me, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in a competitive field. I've struggled so much for so long without success, which is finally here. But there is a catch. I think she has a crush on me, and maybe I'm the limerent object. I'm not sure. She drops such subtle hints that I have no proof, but enough to make me uncomfortable. I know that she has had limerence for a long time to another artist that she has been working for and who is #1 in the field. I mention this to give context that they work for big audiences, which can create a lot of mental tension. Side note, before the relationship with A, the boyfriend, I was limerent on one person for about 7 years. It was my responsibility, yes, but I think it was also his, since this provided him with sex and he encouraged it. I wouldn't want to do anything like he did. B, this famous artist, has all the power and she's excluding A from everything. A has said to her several times that he would like to participate in her next project. She's not obligated, of course. He is talented and has many skills that could be of use. The project includes me traveling with her, sometimes for longer periods, and this is hurting my boyfriend. It's a literal repetition of their story, of their history, except I'm not interested in her a bit and I don't enjoy the attention. It feels kind of sinister and like she is tripping on it. It's against my principles. My father cheated on my mother, and I'm straight. But maybe I'm making too big a deal out of it and just feeling guilty that my boyfriend is left out because I know it is hurting him. I have a tendency to take on too much responsibility for other people's feelings. It's actually my main problem that I'm working on myself. I told my boyfriend everything. B has said, I'm hot. She's commented in a joking way that she wants to touch my boobs. She organizes that we spend the most time together, sharing the room, when there's room share, etc. I fear that the exclusion is hurting him. My boyfriend doesn't want me to go with her, but knows it's my decision. He thinks maybe there's an in-between option, but I don't know what that could be. I could say to B that I only want to work on this project together if my boyfriend is part of it. But is that a good idea? Should I ask B what is up with the flirty remarks and tell her to cut it out? I have a feeling that confronting her like this is pointless unless I cancel. Should I cancel my involvement in the project and continue with my art practice together with my boyfriend and build our own success, which I don't know I'm capable of? I'm afraid if I cancel, I will be resentful. I'm afraid if I don't cancel, it will deeply damage my relationship to my boyfriend. He knows he can trust me to be faithful, but the mere situation of me being away with her so much would be triggering and painful to him. And we also have a fair share of problems in our relationship. It's hard, but we love each other and we're very committed. I want to do the right thing and I don't want to hurt my boyfriend. It breaks my heart, but I also don't want to give up this opportunity that would fulfill my lifelong dreams. What should I do? How do you see it? I have to decide soon. Okay, Val. Oh gosh. So usually I don't take a letter if I don't have a pretty clear idea of what I think is going on. And I just think this is a true dilemma. So first of all, people in the comments, I know we're going to get a mishmash, but please weigh in on this about what she should do. So here's what I'm hearing. You're 37 and you've been in a relationship for 7 years and it's your first good relationship. Before that, it was limerent and it wasn't great, and then somebody was just having sex with you and it kept the whole bad feeling going. So this is an important relationship. Now, to me, you guys aren't married after 7 years, and I realize not everybody thinks that's a good thing to do, but that's what marriage means is, I'm definitely like hitching my wagon to you. So at this age, 7 years, it sort of implies that people are free to do what they want to do. And your boyfriend had this long relationship with a woman who turned out to be gay and the cheating and everything. So you're not going to cheat. You're straight. But you are walking into a situation where somebody doesn't respect boundaries. She doesn't respect his feelings. She doesn't respect your boundaries. What she's doing technically is sexual harassment because you don't welcome it. You don't want it. And like many people have before, you're considering going into a high payoff situation knowing that there's going to be sexual harassment and expectations that you sleep in the same room and things like that are pretty dodgy with somebody who keeps indicating that they don't care, that you're not interested. And I'm not saying she's going to force herself or anything. I don't know about that. But it does sound like energetically the pressure's never going to stop. And so I am a fan of talking honestly with her about this and just saying, so I'm really uncomfortable with this. It's a great opportunity. Before I consider it, I don't think you have to be prepared to decide that you're not going yet. Before I consider it, I need to talk about this. It feels like flirty energy, and that's really uncomfortable for me. As you know, I really love A, and me being gone for so long is hard for him, and I care very much about his experience of this too. I'd really like for him to be able to come on this job, but if that doesn't fit what you're doing, then I need it to be something where he feels safe. What do you think? See what she says. I think it's totally fair to say that you don't sleep in the same room. And if this were a man-woman thing, I think it would be easy to see, that you as a woman should not stay in the same room as a man who had already said he wants to touch your boobs. That would be inappropriate, right? So I think that helps to put it in perspective. It's easy to think like, I'm not into women, so it doesn't really mean anything, but it means the same thing. It means what it means. And I feel for your partner. If he were writing me, I would say, gosh, that sounds really rough. If you decided to leave, I would understand. But I also understand that this is the chance of a lifetime. And I also understand that in the arts, these chances are exceedingly rare. But let's just think about people like, a lot of people who are in the acting business in Hollywood, right? And some of the people who preyed on them and who had a lot of power because they could offer them access to the top levels of fame and success, and about what happened in hotel rooms. I'm not going to say much because we're on YouTube, but I think you know who and what I'm talking about, and that's not the only person. It's happened extensively. And in time, we just have to acknowledge that yes, you might be able to get some access to fame, but did you really have to expose yourself to that level of risk and psychological pressure and damage to your private life? Here's what a really beautiful relationship between partners involves, is total trust and a consideration that if something is just really like ethically wrong or hurtful to them, that will weigh quite a lot in the other person's decision. So when you say you're very committed, and it's hard, all relationships are somewhat hard, certainly, but you say you're very committed, but there's something short of it being a marriage. So again, I'm going to allow for you are culturally like you just don't believe in marriage, but if it's not a marriage, there's some level of commitment that hasn't been made yet. And so that is what I think that means is, this is a for now relationship. It's leaving room for the possibility that things will shift. And in a way that's, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. It's honest that level of commitment isn't there, that it's for life. And, each partner may have to sacrifice a great deal for the needs of the other. That happens if one person has a huge career opportunity, or one person is not okay with the career opportunity for understandable reasons, or if one person gets Alzheimer's. Like sometimes we end up sacrificing for that partner that we've really committed to. So I think that one thing that might be hard about this for you and your partner is it's going to call into question the depth of your commitment. I could be wrong. Maybe you just haven't talked about that, but a lot of things like an accidental pregnancy or something, something where you're saying no to a great big future, or yes to a great big future that's going to, threaten the relationship. Let's say somebody gets enlisted into a war, they're choosing to go off, they don't know if they're coming back. It calls into question what is the level of commitment here. So that I think that's what you're facing here is you and A have to decide like what's the level of commitment here, and that could influence what is the right thing to do here. If that commitment isn't there, I would say, especially coming from him, I would say, well, you're free to go. You're free to go. You are coming back. You can come up with some terms. But I would really say this sharing a room with somebody who is making these flirty and sexual comments, And it does need a conversation, and it would be typical trauma-driven behavior for anybody to go along with that type of thing and not raise the issue that was like right there, like a problem, and making you uncomfortable and threaten and potentially damaging your relationship. And if that conversation went well, there could be a conversation between all three of you about it. I mean, she sounds very forward-thinking and open-minded, so why not be able to talk honestly about how you and your partner actually feel about it, and in which you could say, this is such a great opportunity. I'm really grateful to have it. I want to do this in a way that honors my relationship. Can we do that? So I wouldn't go straight to talking all three of you. I don't know, maybe you don't need to manipulate it. It just needs to be honest. This is a very big thing. I want you to have this opportunity. I want you to have this opportunity. So I don't usually do this, but I really want to hear from the comments section. You're going to hear a mix of things because we have everybody on this channel, from people who are, devout Catholics and Muslims who would be like one point of view, to other people who are like, everybody should be able to do whatever they want, and polyamory. And so, you can hear a range of perspectives about this. This is a true dilemma, but please don't end up in some hotel room that you end up having to take to court, okay? If you need a tool to help get more clarity on how you really feel, if you need to feel the resonance of what is true for you amidst all the voices and all the comments and everything, I really invite you to come try my daily practice techniques. You can learn them in less than an hour. It's a free course. It's a very specific writing technique followed by meditation. I've been doing it 30 years, and it has helped me so much to know my own mind and to be able to discern in complicated situations what I think is best for myself. If you want to take that is right here. It's free. You can sign up, and I will see you very soon.